Okay, so we were invited to offer failure-related things, and I sent this in. I've been subsequently thinking about all the other things that I wasn't prepared to talk about on camera, and I worry a little bit that this is going to fall into Andy's kind of category. Fortunately, he's not here to hear about my LibUX activities, but it might fall into his categories of my terrible failures that are. What's your greatest weakness? Oh, it's perfectionism. That sort of a failure. But yes, we, like a lot of people, a few years ago, probably 2016, were mucking about with LibUX, having a try, doing different things. So we started doing some little pilots and tryouts. So for those of you that haven't done these before, they're great. We did love and breakup letters. So you invite people to communicate with the library through the medium of letters. And it forces people to think slightly differently, and you get lovely things. I don't know if anyone can read this, but someone wrote us this beautiful letter breaking up with our disgusting, stinky chairs. Smelly, tatty, uncomfortable. I can hardly bear to drape my coat over them. I've ditched the octagonal reading room, which I think was the round reading room, but let's not be fussy. And then there's the thing about hair. I mean, it's really quite gross. But it was fantastic because the new head of cleaning in this particular building came and was being shown around. And I had this letter that I just got. And I went, look at this. This is why you need to steam clean the chairs. Like more. So they're really good. We really enjoyed those. And we did some cognitive mapping. So you get people, so here they're being asked to draw a map of the places that they go to study, and you give them different coloured pens, and you give them not very long, and then you get them to tell you about what they've drawn. So we've got, there's the library and a cafe and what have you, and on the train, and famously these ones, anybody you get them to ask you to draw the library, they never ever draw a librarian. We're completely invisible as far as the users of our space are concerned. So, so far so normal. We were getting some interesting stuff back. So, wow, we're loving this. It's great. And we do a really fantastic thing at King's. Every Wednesday, we have the training hour. Training hour runs 4 times in the day across our 4 kind of campus teams so that everybody has the opportunity to participate. And we have all sorts of things from the kind of very mundane and necessary kind of ongoing annual sort of training-y things. And we also have a bit more fun things. So myself and some people took round training hour to introduce people to the ideas of LibUX, about ethnography, and to talk a bit about some of the things we've been doing and give them a chance to try them out. And that was great. And what I thought would be a good thing to do would be to do another little trial, another little pilot. And as part of the training hour, before the training hour started, we did graffiti walls. So graffiti walls, the idea, you pop up a nice big white space with pens and what have you, maybe a question, and you invite people to just, the students to just have their say on the wall. And I wanted it to be realistic. I wanted it to be like it would be for the students. So I didn't tell anybody about it at all. I just popped up and got my minions in my team to pop up in all of the staff rooms across our campuses, whiteboards and posters inviting people to tell us what you think and feel about your staff room. Be a bit of fun. Everybody's got a view about that. What could possibly go wrong? And here we go. This is my friends at the Western Education Centre Library. They're lovely down there. They're the nicest team. And we had all these things. This room is a sanctuary. Make it a bit homelier. Oh, I could bring some cushions from home. Down here is missing the request for a Marshall amp stack. There's quite a lot of rock musicians in that team. I love the whiteboards. They're like really nice, just the kind of thing that you want. Bit of interaction, bit of fun. Here we are at New Hunt's house, unfortunately in Biro, not Sharpie. And they have a really not very nice staff room. It's like a really strange shape with a tiny kitchen. So there's a bit of grumbling about that, seating's uncomfortable, weird ratio between kitchen seating and the seating area. the lovely thing here, I don't use the staff room. Why? Because it's space connected to work. Liminality. Deep. So people are doing what you want, they're having fun with it, so it's really nice. And so here's me, my pen poised, and I'm up at the Morn Library, which is our kind of library HQ. It's the old Public Records Office. It's a great Gothic castle of a thing. And I wrote my question on the board, and I went off to a meeting for a couple of hours. And I came back to be greeted by this, which was completely full from top to bottom. I thought, maybe I've done something here. So I thought, I'm going to have to do something about this. So I went and made a little poster that kind of said, we're going to need a bigger board, and started trying to respond to some of the things. So there was a big argument about whether we should have a telly, had broken out, and about wanting some mugs. And so it was like, we've got these fantastic, we had a thing called the Quality Service Statement definition, It's, proudly serving every member of the university community, friendly something or other. Can't remember. There we go. It was good stuff. Oh no, this is being recorded. That's all right. The person who brought it in has now left. But and it's too crowded, and so I kind of sorted this out, thinking I'm going to have to give them a bit more space. By the time I'd done that poster, it had got even fuller, and people are writing around the corners and what have you, and they're ticking and hearting and getting quite grumpy. And in amongst it, there's this big one, a commitment to act on some of this feedback. Oh, hello, it's an email from Samantha. Hello, Alan. What's this thing in the staff room? What have you done, Alan, about this thing? And why is everybody now really either excited or angry about the staff room? And so, so it put me into quite a kind of position. And I think I learned some lessons from this particular thing. I think the first one, it's a good one for all kind of UX-y type things. Think really carefully about what you're going to ask people. Because if you ask people about things they care about, like a staff room, they are going to respond, and you have to be ready to deal with those responses. And you have to think about what those might be, and you might need to have checked the politics beforehand. So I didn't know, because I didn't really use that staff room at all, how grumpy it made people, basically. And it's a really good idea that you have on board the people that have control of whether we can get another microwave for the staff room, whether we can change the furniture, whether we can get a card axe put on so that you don't get random people coming in all the time, and all of these other kind of possibilities that are very limited generally in amongst the things that you might do. There's also a little bit where it's kind of like, I did it as a surprise, so it would be like the experience that a student would have when they're confronted by these beautiful whiteboards. And surprises are fun, but not everybody likes surprises. And surprises can happen to you as well. On the plus side, we did it directly in the run-up to the training hour. So because I wanted it to be close, because that's we were going to talk about it. So I had an immediate opportunity to explain myself to the whole of library services over the course of 4 sessions during the course of the day. And it was very effective in generating a buzz about those sessions. People wanted to know what was going on. They became interested in what we'd been doing in the UX work. I had some very powerful evidence for change, and people were motivated by it. For all that they'd effectively been somewhat strong-armed in some parts, they were motivated to actually say, we do need to make a difference on this, we need to make some changes. And some of those things we could do relatively easily. I mean, I should have taken a picture of the room really, but it's not a very exciting room. It's kind of cellular, it's all cellular spaces in the building. And along one wall we had the professional librarians type collection on a series of shelves, the last one of which was about here, with the chair being there. So the chairs are here, and there's like a bookshelf sticking out there. If you can imagine, it's like, so even for shorter people, you couldn't sit on there without clobbering your head on a bookshelf, which is not great. And one of the problems, and I'm sure anybody that has a staff room has this problem, was the lack of cutlery. So I did community payback, and I managed to acquire a very large quantity of forks that I released into the wild. The half-life of a fork in the Morn Library is approximately a week. It has been established. There are no forks once more, but there we go. So that was my little UX experiment, and that's my failure story for today.